It's the special edition of Business Morning coming to you live from Asaba, the Delta State capital, where the state government is rolling out the CBN's $2 billion micro, small and medium enterprises for the states to develop the economy and, of course, give out to entrepreneurs. It is in tranches. We've been told that 500 million naira will be giving out to beneficiaries today on the event, during the event, and that is already going to be on the way any moment from now. We've now been joined by some officials of the Central Bank. We have with us to my immediate right is Mr. Paul Eluhaiwe. He is the immediate past Director in charge of Development Finance at the Central Bank of Nigeria. He is currently the Special Advisor to the CBN Governor on Development Finance. And to my far right is Dr. Olaiton Mudashiru. He is the Acting Director in charge of Development Finance also at the Central Bank. Thank you.
Thank you so much
for coming on the program. I'm going to start with Mr. Eluhaiwe. Now, the Central Bank decided to give out $2 billion to Delta State. I was speaking to the Commissioner earlier on, and she said that it's a bit difficult. It's been a bit difficult for some states now to access this fund. Why do you think they're having challenges in this respect?
Really, I don't see it as a challenge, because there are basic things that have to be done in the financial sector if you have to access finance. And basically, all we are asking the state government to do a few things that will make the fund a credible fund, sustainable. That is the critical thing. The fund has to be sustainable. There has to be subsequent rollover of the fund on a continuous basis. For that, the only thing we have asked the state government is to give us an ISPO from the Federal Ministry of Finance to show that the financial standing is okay and we can recover the fund in the event of default. We know definitely default is not going to occur, but we have to be reassured that, in the event of anything, the CBN will be able to access to get the fund back.
From the Ministry of Finance
from the state government.
Okay.
From the state government. It's just like a kind of guarantee that, we can access their own fund from source and get the CBN money back, because CBN also go to the market to borrow this fund. So we really have to pay back. It costs a lot of money to borrow in the market. So for sustainability's sake, and that's why we're saying so, beyond the ISPO or a guarantee from a bank, we're also asking the state government to have an SPV, a special purpose vehicle, like you saw Dr. Ashebi talking about the microcredit agency. We don't want government to be directly involved in running the microcredit fund. They have to set up a special agency for managing the fund that CBN can constantly relate to, because we know government itself is not a very good manager of fund. We want the fund to be driven like almost a private sector managed process, and that's why we insisted on an ISPO for that purpose, for a special purpose vehicle. We have also said we should identify microfinance institutions, microfinance banks that they can channel the money to, because we are not going to give the money direct to even the agency itself.
Okay.
Because for sustainability, for proper management of the fund. These are the simple things we have asked the state government to provide, and a good number of them are working towards that.
Okay, I'm sure that they would select the microfinance bank, or you would select?
No, they will select the microfinance bank or micro NGO, MFI, or a cooperative agency that they intend to use. They do it themselves and not the Central Bank of Nigeria.
Okay, let me come to Dr. Olaiton. Now, today, the Central Bank is giving out $2 billion to Delta State. And we're looking at the first tranche of 500 million. Why do you think that the Apex Bank decided to allocate this fund in tranches?
The issue of allocation in tranches actually depends on the state governments. You see, we gave them a maximum of 2 billion, but getting the whole funding, it all depends on making available all the necessary requirements. One of the requirements is that the states have to have the beneficiaries, they have to have the PFIs. So as they provide the list of beneficiaries, because Central Bank is particular about ensuring that the fund is repaid. So we don't just want to push out the old money at once and now looking for the beneficiary, but they first select the beneficiaries. So the tranche is actually dependent on the state government themselves. Based on the beneficiary, what amount the beneficiary actually wants for their businesses.
Okay.
So that determines the amount they get. So it's it's based on the state government themselves to decide how much they want for every tranche.
So for some state governments who could be watching right now,
yes,
they decide how much they get.
Yes.
Based on the fact that they have to submit the names
the list
of the beneficiaries.
The contact numbers, because you have to contact them to be sure they are not ghost clients.
Do you also check out the kind of business they do? Do you verify?
Yes, we verify. You have, for instance, it's actually for micro enterprises. So we want to be sure that it's actually meet the guidelines. We only allow that 10% of the funds should only be used for trading. We're actually targeting the productive sector of the economy, which we feel is going to grow the economy. So we want to be sure that the money is going to be used productively. So that's why we have to contact the beneficiary to know that they know about the fund, they want to use the fund, and what they want to use it for.
Okay. Now, Mr. Eluhaiwe, I would like to ask you questions relating to the guiding principles, because I know that there's some principles in relation to how this money will be disbursed. Right. And we've been told that 60% is expected to be given to women, among other principles. What brought about this categories that you came out with?
Thank you so much. If you go all over the world, from experience, all over the world with respect to micro, small, and medium enterprises, that is area you find majority of women play. They are the lower end of the ladder in terms of economic activity, productive activity, coupled with the fact that they are the most disenfranchised from access to financial services. And for that reason, we decided, because the same thing happens also in Nigeria, and for that reason we said, look, from the financial inclusion strategy that we did recently, and that was in 2012 and 13, we discovered that women are the most disenfranchised also to support our case. And for that reason we said, look, we should channel a major part of the fund to the women for purpose of inclusive financial services, bringing a majority of them to have access to financial services. A good number of them don't have an account. They are good entrepreneurs. They've never been to bank. They need resources to do their businesses, and yet they don't have access. So those were the things that informed us. Why the men also do have access to financial services. Sometimes even the men, when a woman takes her money, you see the husband wanting to coerce her to even bring her the money.
In fact, some women are breadwinners for the families
exactly,
right now.
Exactly.
Okay, Dr. Lighton, now an interesting part of this launch is the fact that the central bank is giving out the fund at a single-digit interest rate of 9%. Now, what is the rationale behind this?
Thank you very much. The essence of the fund is actually to grow the economy at the grassroots. And we realize that one of the major impediments to providing funding for the micro entrepreneurs is because of high interest rates. So we want a situation where all the micro entrepreneurs will be able to have access to financial resources to engage in economic activities. So that was the basis for the single-digit interest rate, to make it affordable to everybody without exception.
All right. At this point, I have to say thank you for your time with us here on Business Morning in Asaba, where you are rolling out, it's actually you giving the Delta State government the money, 2 billion naira MSME fund. Thank you so much. Mr. Paul Eluhaiwe is the special, is actually immediate past Director, Development Finance at the Central Bank, who is also the special advisor to the CBN Governor on Development Finance, and Dr. Lighton Mudashiru is the Acting Director, Development Finance at the Central Bank. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll go on a break. I'll be right back.